I am sure you've heard that every man has a story. My story could be considered an adventure, maybe a mystery. I would prefer to think of it as a discovery of the essence of love. This story should receive no special consideration beyond knowing that it is an honest story. And as we all know, honesty comes easy to a man who has nothing to lose. It begins without fanfare. Perhaps from a child's sense of wonder comes a knowing cautiousness. Over time, this cautiousness evolves, manifesting in numerous ways, all of which lead to overwhelming concerns. Now, these concerns may be regarding some small things, other concerns may be towards some rather large things. And sometimes there are concerns for things that aren't even really there. The most crippling of these concerns is the one towards that which surrounds us all. Oh, I did realize that wherever I walked, rode, or looked, its presence was confirmed through its quiet intensity. Was I really the only one who recognized this encroaching evil? What everyone else saw as landscape, I saw as an invitation to the very throes of inevitable death. Over time, I established a silent understanding with my nemesis. This was easily upheld with the help of those capable of throwing caution to the wind. One such soldier was Roy. Good old Roy, always with a smile on his face. $10, that man was willing to risk his very breath. Little did he know. Now, believe it or not, there was a time when I was considered to be an attractive man. And it was during this time, before the anxieties had manifest, that I entered into an agreement with a woman. She, of course, like myself, knew not of what was in store. Now, to my surprise, under the duress that followed, even during the most intense situations, she proved herself to be a very understanding and patient woman. However, the years of service took their toll. Not so much in the lines on her face, but as an invisible weight that was always bearing down. Its heaviness was evident in the shape of her shoulders. The reality is, even the healthiest of individuals require a sabbatical from such suffrage. I understood this. In fact, this all began with my suggestion that she take time off.
Hey, it's Cassandra. How are you?
Originally,
I know, we haven't talked for so long.
she heeded my advice to get out and see a movie, maybe even have dinner with a friend.
Yeah, everything's pretty good here. Yeah, well, I'd love to see it.
Well, the movies at the local cinema failed to offer a storyline strong enough to be an effective distraction.
No, I understand. Okay, well, I'll let you go. Yeah, call me.
And the friends
All right.
were suspiciously no longer available. It seemed as if she had become resigned to her fate. Then one day, she returned from the market. I immediately noticed something different. I thought maybe during her errands she had contracted something. She eventually announced that she was going to expand on my original idea of getting out of the house. She referred to her plan as a holiday. Not a permanent departure, she explained. Usually a weekend excursion. 2, maybe 3 nights away. And even though the curiosity whirled in my imagination, and even though I might be tempted to voice a pertinent question, I dare not ask, for it was made clear that my silence and understanding were imperative. And should I break that soundlessness, I would certainly lose sight of her eventual return. All in all, this seemed like a fair understanding. She began taking these holidays on a regular basis. They in fact became a ritual. She would prepare those items that were necessary for my survival during her absence. And I, in my silence, would watch her decide on what belongings would be included in her travels. Nothing asked, nothing learned. On one such weekend after her departure, I spent the next several hours going on about my usual routine. Eventually, I arrived at my bed, where upon entering I received the most unexpected blessing. On a typical night, I might lie awake for hours on end before sleep delivers its dark mercy. For some reason, on this night, sleep washed over my body like a wave of warm ocean water. No sooner had I closed my eyes than the most vivid dreams of my adult life began to unfold. I was walking, freely walking in every direction, and everywhere I traveled I was completely surrounded by construction. And huge bulldozers were scraping the vile green grass off the earth's surface for as far as the eye could see. Then the cement mixers paraded in, pouring oceans of glorious concrete, layer after layer, saving all of humanity from certain death. Farms, fields, and pastures were replaced by pavement and buildings. Oh, how happy I was. For the first time since my childhood, I felt free to roam and explore, and this I did to the far corners of the earth. And eventually, my travels delivered me back to my own beautiful neighborhood. Then, the barking began. I opened my eyes and looked down to see a dog. Suddenly I realized I was standing amid the sharpest, thickest fescue I'd ever seen. My reaction was involuntary. I took one look about, then looked toward the nearest relief. Where was I? Was this all part of the dream? I had no time to consider the strength of my refuge. Luckily, the spindly legs did not fail. The inhabitants of the home whose backyard I now occupied did not appear to be in. Could I possibly be saved by a concerned neighbor? Doubtful, as many knew of my condition and would go out of their way to even avoid eye contact, let alone offer deliverance in the form of a piggyback ride. I had no choice but to wait for the fates to guide me. The wait proved to be a long one. That next morning, a sense of desperation set in as it occurred to me that it was already Sunday. It was now only a matter of minutes before she would return from her holiday. That's when I noticed the face. A woman's face peering out from the window of the house in front of me. In an attempt to evade further attention, I remained motionless. what if she were to find me in this predicament? She had threatened to leave should my unique behavior cause another public situation. And what would I do without her? On my own, I would be lost. Who else would have the knowledge? Her patience. I knew in an instant, find that which all men own, but few men exercise. Courage. I decided to risk the strength of the teetering barbecue pit. My goal was to reach the garage roof. As my strength had been totally depleted by the jump, I now realized my fate was only moments away. That is when it dawned on me. In that instant, everything became apparent. An epiphany. As a man who was completely aware, all-knowing, I am a threat to nature and the total subconsciousness of existence. If I were allowed to... When the moment arrived, it came peacefully, washing over my body as the ocean's breath. Lying there, I thought that maybe if I kept my eyes closed, the pain of reality would have no chance of setting in. Who was I kidding? It was only a matter of a few precious moments before I would hear my Maker's calling. Then, unexpectedly, I noticed a sweetness in the air. I regularly wondered what the afterlife would have in store, but never did it occur to me that it would smell like flowers. I slowly opened my eyes, and there she was, looking over me as she had 100 times before. She was without expression, but deep in her eyes, I imagined her understanding. Still, nothing was said. Nothing had to be said. She did not have to explain how she had found me, for we both knew she was a master of her talent, and I did not attempt to explain what had taken place, for she was all too familiar with my exploits. That afternoon, I could not tell if the pity in her eyes was for what had happened or what she continued to put herself through. We both knew my limitations would continue to develop, and maybe there's comfort in knowing what to expect. You may be asking yourself, what does she see in him? Why does she always return? I cannot answer that question. But what I do know is, she looks not for financial gain nor physical satisfaction. I know that this is one woman whose loyalty will never be questioned, and while others may ask her reasoning, only she will ever understand. Now, some of you may think my story as sad. Others may think it humorous. All I know is there are some people who look their whole lives for the essence of love, and for some reason, the gods have allowed me to witness it on a daily basis. What is the essence of love, you ask? Such an obvious answer. The essence of love is tolerance.